It was 2 a.m. when my phone buzzed like a chainsaw on the nightstand, jolting me out of a dead sleep. I picked it up, heart pounding like a drum in a rock concert, and saw my daughter Emily's name flashing on the screen like a warning sign.
"Mom, I can't do this anymore,"
she whispered, her voice cracking like fragile glass under pressure. That call hit me like a ton of bricks. Little did I know, it was the spark that would ignite a firestorm, rallying our whole darn town against the shadows of hidden pain. Buckle up, folks, this ain't just a story, it's a wake-up call wrapped in grit and glory. Hey everyone, if you're tuning in from your cozy couch or that morning commute grind, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already. Stories like this one are why we're here, dishing out real talk about the tough stuff life throws our way. Today, we're diving headfirst into a tale of sheer grit and epic comeback, inspired by those everyday heroes who've been through the ringer but came out swinging harder than ever. It's all about breaking free from the chains that bind us, you know? Shattering the silence that's been holding too many folks back for too darn long. Stick around till the end, because this one's packed with heart-pounding moments, hustle that pays off, and a happy ending that'll leave you pumped up and ready to tackle your own battles.
Oh, and drop a comment below. Have you ever had to stand up for someone you love, even when the odds were stacked against you? Spill the beans, I'm dying to hear your stories.
Alright, let's roll up our sleeves and get into it. I'm Linda, a tough-as-nails single mom hunkered down in a sleepy little town in Ohio, where the biggest excitement is usually the Friday night high school football game or the annual county fair with its greasy funnel cakes and rickety Ferris wheel. I've been slinging coffee and flipping pancakes at the local diner for what feels like a lifetime, 25 years, to be exact, scraping by on tips and sheer willpower after my no-good ex hightailed it out of town when Emily was just a wide-eyed toddler with pigtails and a gap-toothed grin. Emily. Oh, she's always been my shining star, my world wrapped up in one feisty package, smart as a whip, with a laugh that could light up the gloomiest room like fireworks exploding on the 4th of July. She moved out a couple years back, hitched her wagon to this guy named Jake, who at first glance seemed like Mr. Right straight out of a Hallmark movie. Charming smile that could melt butter, a steady job wrenching on cars at the auto shop down on Main Street. He even swung by one rainy afternoon to fix my leaky roof without so much as asking for a thank you. No biggie, Linda, he'd say with that easy grin, wiping grease from his hands on an old rag. But lately, Emily's calls had dried up like a creek in August, and when she did pick up the phone, her voice sounded off-kilter, like she was tiptoeing around landmines, walking on eggshells every single word. That fateful night, her call came barreling in out of the blue, shattering the quiet hum of my old fridge in the kitchen. I was dead to the world, snoring away under my faded quilt, when the buzz yanked me upright.
"Mom, I can't do this anymore,"
Emily whispered, her words tumbling out in a rush, laced with sobs that twisted my gut like a wet dish rag.
"Jake. He's been rough with me, Mom. It started small, yelling over stupid stuff like burnt dinner or a misplaced tool, grabbing my arm too hard when he got mad. But tonight, oh God, tonight he shoved me right into the wall because I dared to question his late nights out with the boys, or whoever he's really seeing. I think he's got someone else on the side, some girl from the bar, all giggles and no shame. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm scared, but I'm done pretending everything's peachy keen."
My stomach plummeted like a rock tossed into a deep pond, ripples of fear spreading through me. "Get your butt over here right now, honey," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady as a rock even though my hands were shaking like leaves in a gale-force wind. Pack a bag if you can, and drive safe. We'll figure this out together, you hear me? You're not alone in this mess. She showed up at my creaky front door 20 agonizing minutes later, her cheek puffed up and turning an ugly shade of red, swelling like a bad bruise from a back-alley bar fight gone wrong. I yanked the door open, the porch light casting harsh shadows on her tear-streaked face, and pulled her inside before the neighbors could poke their noses in. Wrapped her up in my old wool blanket that smelled faintly of lavender from the dryer sheets, and hustled to the kitchen to whip up some hot cocoa, the good kind with extra marshmallows floating on top, just like when she was a little girl scraping her knees on the playground. "Oh, sweetie, this ain't right at all," I murmured, holding her close as she buried her face in my shoulder, her body trembling like a leaf. Emily let it all pour out then, sobbing into the fabric of my nightgown, spilling the beans on everything, the controlling texts that pinged her phone at all hours, demanding to know where she was and who she was with, the way he'd isolated her from her old friends, making excuses why they couldn't hang out anymore, the explosive rages over the smallest things, like a sock left on the floor or dinner not being ready on the dot.
I thought it was my fault. Mom, like if I just tried harder, cooked better, kept the house spotless, maybe he'd chill out. But nothing's ever good enough, and now there's this other woman, I just know it.
I shook my head, a fire igniting in my belly like someone had struck a match to dry tinder. "No way, this is on him, not you darlin'. You're worth 1,000,000 of him, and we're gonna make sure he knows it." We sat there on the lumpy couch for what felt like hours, the clock ticking away in the background like a metronome counting down to dawn. Emily spilled more details, her voice gaining a bit of strength as she talked, how Jake would apologize profusely after each blow-up, bringing home cheap flowers from the gas station and swearing up and down it'd never happen again.
Mom. He says he loves me, that he's just stressed from work, but I can't keep buying that line.
I nodded, stroking her hair like I did when she had nightmares as a kid. "Love don't look like bruises, honey. We're gonna get you out of this, step by step." As the first light of morning crept through the curtains, turning the room a soft pink, I knew we had a long road ahead, but dang it, I was ready to walk it with her every inch of the way. The next morning, I didn't waste a single second lounging around in my PJs. Nah, I was up at the crack of dawn, brewing a pot of strong coffee that could wake the dead. I called up my old pal Karen from the community center downtown. She's the one who runs these support groups for folks who've hit rock bottom and need a hand up. We've been thick as thieves since high school, sharing secrets over root beer floats at the old soda fountain. "Linda, what's the emergency?" Karen answered, her voice still groggy from sleep, but sharpening quick as a tack when I filled her in. "Bring Emily down here pronto," she said, her tone warming up like fresh-baked apple pie straight from the oven. "We've got counselors lined up who specialize in this kind of mess. They'll help sort through the chaos and get her on solid ground." Emily was hesitant at first, fidgeting with the hem of her shirt like a cat on a hot tin roof, her eyes darting around the room as if Jake might burst through the door any minute.
What if people find out, Mom? This town's smaller than a postage stamp. Word gets around faster than a juicy rumor in high school hallways.
I squeezed her hand tight, feeling the tremble in her fingers. "That's exactly why we gotta speak up and shout it from the rooftops. You're not alone in this rodeo, and neither am I. We've got a whole posse ready to back us up." She nodded slowly, biting her lip, but there was a spark in her eyes, faint but flickering like a candle in the wind. We piled into my beat-up old pickup truck, the one with the rusty fender and the radio that only picks up country stations, and headed to the community center, a squat brick building with faded murals of smiling families on the walls. Karen greeted us at the door with open arms and a bear hug that could squeeze the worry right out of you. "Come on in, you too. I've got fresh coffee brewing and some of those cinnamon rolls you love." The group was small and cozy, just a handful of women huddled around a circle of folding chairs, sharing their stories over steaming mugs and a box of assorted donuts from the bakery down the block. Emily sat there at first, eyes wide as saucers, listening intently as each woman took her turn. One lady, a petite redhead named Sue with laugh lines etched deep from better days, shared how her ex had controlled every penny she spent. "I felt trapped, like a bird in a cage," Sue said, her voice steady but laced with old pain. Another, a burly truck driver named Rita, chimed in with her tale of verbal barbs that cut deeper than knives. "He'd call me worthless, but look at me now, driving cross-country and free as a bird." Then it was Emily's turn. She cleared her throat, her hands clasped tight in her lap.
"Jake makes me feel like I'm walking on thin ice all the time. One wrong step and everything shatters,"
she said, her voice shaky at first but gaining steam like a locomotive picking up speed. The others nodded empathetically, murmuring encouragements like "been there, done that, got the t-shirt and you deserve better than that crap, girl, way better." By the end of the session, Emily had a counselor's business card tucked in her pocket and a solid plan scribbled on a napkin. Document everything from those nasty texts to the fading bruises, keep a journal of incidents, and start building a safety net. "Thanks, everyone, this means the world," Emily said, a small smile breaking through like sunshine after a storm. Word about our situation spread through our tight-knit community like wildfire in dry brush, jumping from backyard fences to diner counters. My neighbor Tom, the retired cop with a mustache like a broom and a heart of gold, knocked on my door that very afternoon, his police cap tucked under his arm.
"Heard through the grapevine what's going on, Linda,"
he grumbled, adjusting his bifocals as he stepped inside.
"That Jake fella's bark might be worse than his bite, but we ain't letting him sink his teeth in without a fight." He offered to review the evidence Emily had started collecting, screenshots of threatening messages, photos of the bruises snapped on her phone in harsh bathroom light. "This is textbook stuff. We'll build a case that'll hold up like Fort Knox."
Then there was Aunt Betty from down the street, my late sister's best friend who's more family than blood, bustling over with a steaming casserole dish wrapped in foil and a determined glint in her eye. "We're in this together, darlin', no ifs, ands, or buts about it," she declared, patting Emily's back with a flour-dusted hand. She rallied the church ladies for an impromptu fundraiser at the community bake sale, turning out pies, cookies, and brownies by the dozen to cover any legal fees that might crop up. "Every penny counts, and every prayer too," Betty said, her voice booming like a revival preacher. Even the kids at the local elementary school got wind of it through their teachers. Bless their little hearts, they made colorful posters with slogans like "Standing Strong Against Hurt" and "Friends Help Friends," taping them up on bulletin boards and storefront windows. "We want to help Mississippi Emily feel better," one pigtailed girl exclaimed, handing me a crayon drawing of a superhero mom. As the days turned into weeks, our support network grew like a snowball rolling downhill, picking up speed and size. We had potluck dinners where folks shared stories and strategies, laughter mixing with tears over plates of fried chicken and coleslaw. Emily started opening up more, her confidence blooming like spring flowers after a long winter.
I can't believe how many people care, Mom.
She said one evening, stirring a pot of chili on the stove.
It's like the whole town's got my back.
But of course, not everything was smooth sailing. Jake wasn't about to slink away quietly. But Jake, that slippery eel, wasn't going down without throwing some punches, figurative ones, thank goodness, but still stinging like salt in a wound. He started showing up unannounced at Emily's workplace, the little boutique on Elm Street where she sold handmade jewelry and vintage clothes, armed with bouquets of wilting roses from the corner store and apologies that rang as hollow as an empty drum.
Baby, let's work this out, just you and me, like old times.
He'd plead, flashing those puppy dog eyes that used to melt her resolve.
I swear, it was a one-time thing. Work's been killing me, and I took it out on you. Forgive me?
Emily wavered for a hot minute, her heart tugging at the memories of better days. Love's a tricky beast, you know, full of what-ifs and maybes.
Mom, what if he's really sorry this time?
She asked me over coffee one morning, her eyes pleading for an easy answer. I set my mug down with a clunk, looking her square in the eye. Honey, sorry don't fix broken trust overnight, and flowers wilt faster than promises from a man like that. Remember the group, they've seen this song and danced before. With the support from Karen's sessions echoing in her mind, Emily steeled herself and blocked his number on her phone, the screen lighting up one last time with his desperate texts before going dark.
No more, Jake, I'm done playing your twisted games.
She muttered to herself, hitting the confirm button with a satisfying tap. But Jake ramped up the pressure, spreading ugly rumors around town like fertilizer on a lawn, whispering to anyone who'd listen that Emily was overreacting to nothing and making mountains out of molehills just to spite him. Folks started whispering at the diner where I worked, giving me the side-eye over their eggs and bacon.
Is it true she's just after his money, Linda?
One regular, old Mr. Jenkins with his suspenders and perpetual frown, asked loud enough for the whole joint to hear. His fork paused mid-bite. That stung like a swarm of bees, buzzing in my ears and making my cheeks flush hot. You know better than to believe that hogwash, Jenkins, I shot back, refilling his coffee with a steady hand. Emily's a good girl, she's just trying to get her life back on track. The doubts crept in like fog rolling off the river, but our community? They stepped up big time, refusing to let the lies take root. Tom, bless his soul, organized a town hall meeting at the rec center, the place smelling of old gym socks and fresh popcorn from the concession stand.
Listen up, folks, this abuse nonsense ain't a private family squabble. It's everybody's business to stomp it out like a campfire spark.
He boomed from the podium, his voice echoing off the basketball hoops. Survivors from all walks shared their gut-wrenching tales, tears flowing freely as the room hung on every word. Emily spoke last, stepping up to the mic with knees knocking but chin held high.
I hid it for too long, thinking I could fix it all by myself, sweeping it under the rug like dust bunnies. But with y'all's help, your kind words, your casseroles, your shoulders to cry on, I'm breaking free from the chains.
The room erupted in applause, cheers bouncing off the walls like a victory parade, and just like that, the tide turned in our favor. Donations poured in like rain after a drought, folks stuffing envelopes with cash and checks, and even the mayor himself pledged city funds for more counseling programs and awareness workshops. This town's got heart, and we're proving it today, the mayor declared, shaking hands all around. We didn't stop there. Emily and I dove deeper into preparation, attending self-defense classes at the Y, where a no-nonsense instructor named Coach Mike taught us moves that could drop a guy twice our size. Jab, cross, hook, feel that power, ladies, he'd yell, sweat flying as we punched bags until our arms ached. Emily laughed for the first time in weeks, wiping her brow.
Who knew I had a mean right hook, Mom?
I grinned back, proud as punch. That's my girl, fierce and fabulous. We also hit up financial workshops, learning how to budget and build credit, arming Emily with tools for independence. No more relying on anyone but myself, she vowed, poring over spreadsheets late into the night. Things heated up like a pressure cooker about to blow when we finally marched into the lawyer's office, a stuffy little suite above the hardware store with stacks of files teetering like Jenga towers. Mr. Harlan, a no-nonsense attorney from the next town over with a tie that looked like it had seen better days and a mustache that rivaled Tom's, laid it all out straight as an arrow.
We've got texts that read like a horror novel, photos of bruises that tell their own story, and witness statements thicker than a phone book. This case is solid as a rock, ladies,
he said, flipping through the bulging folder with practiced ease. Emily nodded, her chin up and eyes fierce.
I want a divorce, clean and quick, no strings, no drama.
Mr. Harlan leaned back in his creaky chair, steepling his fingers.
We'll file for a restraining order to keep him at arm's length while we sort the assets.
Jake fought dirty as expected, his lawyer firing off counterclaims that painted Emily as the villain, accusing her of exaggeration and gold digging. But the climax slammed into us like a freight train barreling down the tracks in that packed courtroom, the air thick with tension and the scent of polished wood and nervous sweat. Jake sat there on the defendant's side, his suit rumpled and ill-fitting, glaring daggers across the aisle like he could intimidate us into backing down.
This is ridiculous,
he muttered under his breath, loud enough for the front row to hear. His lawyer, a slick city type with gelled hair and a shark smile, stood up to rebut.
Your Honor, this is just a lover's quarrel blown way out of proportion. My client is a hard-working man, not some monster.
But Mr. Harlan, he came out swinging like a heavyweight champ, firing back with evidence that hit harder than a home run in the bottom of the ninth.
Exhibit A, threatening messages that chill the blood. You leave, you'll regret it. Exhibit B, medical reports detailing bruises and contusions, corroborated by photos.
The judge, a stern woman with glasses perched on her nose, leaned forward, her gavel poised. Emily took the stand next, her hands clasped to hide the tremble, but her voice rang clear as a bell.
I deserve peace, Your Honor, no more walking on eggshells, no more fear gripping my heart every night. I've got a life to live, and it starts today.
Witnesses piled on, Karen testifying about Emily's progress in group, Tom detailing the legal red flags, even Aunt Betty sharing how the community had rallied. We've seen the change in her, from scared to strong, Betty said, her voice cracking with emotion. The room held its breath as the judge banged the gavel, the sound echoing like thunder. Divorce granted, assets split fair and square, and Mr. Jake, you're ordered to stay away or face the full music of the law. The courtroom erupted in cheers and whoops, folks clapping like we'd just won the Super Bowl on home turf. Jake slumped in his seat, defeated, while Emily turned to me with tears of joy streaming down her face.
We did it, Mom, we really did it.
With the dust finally settling like after a wild Midwest storm, Emily started piecing her life back together, one brick at a time. She moved back in with me for a spell, turning my spare room into her sanctuary with posters of empowering quotes and a vision board pinned with dreams of travel and career goals. counseling sessions with a kind therapist named Dr. Ellis became her weekly anchor, helping her unpack the emotional baggage like sorting through an overstuffed attic. It's like peeling an onion, Mom, layers of hurt, but getting to the core feels freeing, she confided one evening over homemade lasagna.
I feel like I can breathe again, really breathe.
The town transformed too, inspired by our saga to launch a local hotline for anyone tangled in similar webs, staffed by volunteers including Emily herself. If I can help just one person dodge the pitfalls I fell into, it's worth every minute, she tells callers, her voice warm and reassuring over the line. We hosted workshops on spotting red flags in relationships, packing the rec center with eager faces young and old. Knowledge is power, folks. Don't let silence be your enemy, Tom would say, passing out pamphlets. Emily even started a blog, From Shadows to Sunshine, chronicling her journey with raw honesty and tips for others.
Hits are pouring in, Mom, people from all over sharing their stories.
Life's no cakewalk, with its ups and downs like a roller coaster at the state fair, but we've come full circle from that heart-wrenching late-night call to standing tall and unbreakable. Emily's laughing more these days, dating cautiously with a checklist of green flags, and dreaming big, maybe even going back to school for that degree she put on hold. Me. I'm prouder than a peacock strutting its feathers, knowing we turned raw pain into pure purpose. We make a heck of a team, kiddo, I tell her, clinking glasses over Sunday brunch. If this story tugged at your heartstrings or fired you up, give it a big ol' thumbs up and subscribe for more real deal tales of triumph over trials. We've got a whole playlist brewing. Share your own comeback story in the comments below. Where are you watching from? And what's one way you've broken the silence in your life? Hit that notification bell so you never miss the next inspiring drop. Remember, you're stronger than you think. Reach out if you need a lifeline. Thanks for hanging with us, y'all. Stay strong, stay fierce.